So this is just a little update after we've had that 40-degree day, just to see how everything's faring. Not going to lie, I can see some benefits in installing some irrigation in here, because I did have to come out multiple times and give everything a water because it was looking pretty sad, but everything fared pretty well considering. But I do think that if I wasn't home to be able to give everything some protection, I did put the sprinkler on. I know the sprinkler's not good, like, oh, that might be a bit of damage from using sprinkler water overhead instead of just watering at the base. But I do find that the temperature of the air around the plants drops significantly when you've got the sprinkler going. So the blueberries definitely suffered in that heat. There's a lot of crispy leaves on that, but we've got some ripening blueberries, which is good. We had some birds grab a whole heap of them the other day when they were ready to go, and apparently, because they're a bit tart unless you let them really ripen up, which is hard because the birds get them first, but apparently if you soak them in some sugar water, it actually makes them get much sweeter. So we do need to try that so that we don't lose them all. My sweet potatoes, again, they took a bit of a beating with all that hot weather, so there is a bit of new growth coming through, so hopefully they will recover. And the raspberries, no, they actually did well, because that's all the new growth and that didn't suffer. Maybe there's just a little bit of damage. Some of it's from a previous hot day. I've got this big thumper ready to almost harvest. That'll be my first, actually no, I tell a lie, not my first zucchini. It'll be my first good sized zucchini. The other one I didn't feel like it was going to get any bigger, so I just put it in a stir fry. But this guy is doing really well. My dahlia wasn't very happy in that hot weather, but she is about to burst open. This is a cafe au lait, and it's just so pretty. The first year we had one bloom, the second year we had two. This year we've got three ready to go, which is really exciting, and another bit here which hopefully will get some flowers on it too. And the zucchini doesn't like the heat. It gets very wiltery. Apparently they're very shallow rooted, so even if you give them some water, they'll still look a little bit sad. So I put up our umbrella here to give it shade in the afternoon when the sun starts to hit it. And in that really hot day, I actually moved it to where I've got the golden one, because the golden one, I did a transfer and it was really unhappy, but it's coming back now, and we've even got some buds down there ready for some flowers to come up. The beetroots, oh my goodness, and the potato is sprouting. Oh, that's exciting, because my other two potatoes I planted, I reckon 2 or 3 months ago, are still not, like, one's tinily sprouting but not going anywhere. These are the tomatoes that I put in the water that grew some roots, like this one here. There you go, look at that. So this guy's in the water, but these guys I transferred into the soil, and they haven't been the happiest, to be quite honest. This one seems like it's maybe coming back to life, but yeah, I don't think they really liked the transfer. They preferred their water. Borage is an absolute champion, coming back to life. I can see some new buds appearing there, and the bees, they love it, and that was the whole point of putting it in there. And while I'm in this bed, I have decided that I'm going to do a garden journal. I have the worst memory, and things like I have put my tomatoes, and I've still got 2 varieties to go in. That's the 2 stakes here, and there's that one there. They're for 2 extras. That's for a green tomato and the Roman speckled, is it? But I thought all the varieties I was growing were indeterminate, and I've been pruning them as indeterminates, and I had no idea that my Roma, which is obviously the one that I want for all my tomato sauces, is a determinant. And so he, for starters, is way too close to this cucumber here and needs much more space to be able to be a bush tomato as opposed to a vining tomato like the other ones. So don't make that mistake that I have, because I've been cutting all the suckers off when I shouldn't have been, because it's a bush tomato. So I'm really kicking myself, but I need to do a journal, and I'm thinking with my Polaroid camera, take some pictures and put them in the journal so that I can just show myself how close I had planted those, because it's really hard when they're these tiny little seedlings and then all of a sudden you've got these big plants, and you need to prepare for the future, because that's going to determine how much space everything has. I've got my first black cherry turning colour, yay! And this one has just got truss after truss, and this is the one that got, oh, there's another one. This is the one that got hit when we cut this olive tree down. So I've let the sucker grow here to hopefully continue the vine. I'm not sure how big suckers get, so that's going to be an experiment, but I'm going to let that sucker grow. And this cucumber that got hit here, I'm not sure if it's going to continue its path. I think I just saw a little ladybird just then. Did I see? I did, look. Little ladybird. This isn't another example of what I need to put in my diary, is that these snow peas, this one is, and the other one behind, are definitely holding on for dear life with all this hot weather, but this one is ready to go. This one will need to be taken out, but I'm going to probably just leave a couple of these to dry out now. And I think I need to leave them on the plant, so I probably just need to leave it there. But what I was thinking is, because these need to be planted earlier than the tomatoes, is I need to put them maybe a couple on either side on this side, so that I can keep my tomatoes on the edge on this run, like this one is here, because I kind of just willy-nilly put everything in. So I've got a snow pea here as well, but that snow pea was planted in the center of the archway because I had the broad bean on the end. But the broad bean doesn't need staking, and I didn't know that, because apparently it just grows upright and can handle itself, and maybe just put a little bit of a bamboo post in like that to help it. So that's what I need to document, because I've got such a bad memory. I will forget things like that. So snow peas on the side, maybe one on either side, so one on this side and then one on the back side. And then when it comes to tomatoes, I can then plant the tomatoes and plant capsicums, which is what I've got going here. So I've got the capsicums that I got from Aldi, so I've got no idea what variety they are, but I've got those on the other side. So actually that's probably what I need to do, is do snow peas on one side, capsicums on the other. And then hopefully if we put these in earlier in the season, they will have grown up this archway, but they didn't this year because we simply put them in way too late, because we didn't even have the garden beds. So that was a work in progress. So that's what I'm thinking for next year, because I love how I've got this, if I zoom out, how I've got this one is now making its way. It's almost hitting the center now, that black cherry. And that's exactly what I would love the look of here, and also to replicate it on the other side. So I planted a couple of new pickling cucumbers after this one got hit by the tree just to have a backup in case it doesn't grow anymore. But they've had this leaf curl and I've got no idea what the deal with that is. So if you know what that is, please let me know. We do have, and that's the other thing too. So the cucumbers, like we've got this big boy down here, that's definitely ready to pick because apparently 3 inches is the optimum for them not getting too bitter. I've now found out after I cut my first one. Oh, look at this guy. Whoa, okay. Like that's my hand. So that's how big he is. He's pretty big. So that needs to be cut. And if I want to do these for pickling, I need to have them fresh. So I realized that I'm going to have more of those if I actually want to do a pickling project. So that then leaves me in a conundrum as to where to fit them, where to plant them, where to put them, so that I've got enough to pickle in one go, in one sitting, when all those cucumbers are ready. And they do grow really fast, but not fast enough when I've only got 2 now ready to go for pickling. And this French pumpkin is absolutely kicking goals over here. Massive. I've actually got it like very loosely tied up, but if I pull her tight, it goes like well up. And we've got some, I don't think any little pumpkins down on that end. Maybe that one is a pumpkin, I can't tell. But there's a pumpkin here. Oh, there's 2 pumpkins here. Look. Little one there and a little one there. So that's very exciting because I haven't had much success. I've had one of these pumpkins before in the past, many, many years ago. Spaghetti squash not looking incredibly happy. Oh, this one's just pumped out. Oh, oh my goodness. There's a flower that needs to be pollinated and I don't have a male. Bummer. These were out like a couple of days ago. They've died obviously in that heat, but oh, what do I do? Because I'm going to miss the opportunity to pollinate that guy. Boo! And lastly, I have put a whole heap of cottage mix seeds to grow down the front of these 2 garden beds at the front here. So if we zoom in, they are finally starting to come up. I believe that's going to be a marigold, and I believe that that's another marigold there. This side has heaps more, so there's lots and lots and lots that have come up, and I even planted some more. I need to show you my planting that I recently did with all the seedlings, how that's gone. So this is all the seeds that I did in a previous video. So we had some successes, but we definitely had some failures. The ones that are successed have all now been upgraded into some bigger pots. The coriander, not looking too happy after the hot weather. That's the blue peas. What are they called? I can't remember what they're called, but they're the ones that you make the tea with. What have we got? A couple of mustard greens. I lost one of those. The basils, I transplanted all of those and put all 3 varieties side by side. That, now, goodness me, please put labels on your things because you think you'll remember and you never will. That is the green tomato. And I only know that because I planted another one as a backup, which clearly nothing happened. And then this one is the speckled Roman. Yes, so that's the speckled Roman, which apparently adds really good flavour into your tomato sauces. The ivory kale's doing well. Those are the rockets. I really need to get those in the ground. And these are just the cucumbers from Aldi. And I did 4 of those, and I've planted 2 in the garden, and those are the 2 spares. So what didn't come up, once again, was tarragon. So definitely not having any luck with that. That's my second attempt. Echinacea, fennel, sugar rush peach. That's a sugary chili, so that's a bummer. Capsicums, what on earth? Mini chopped capsicum, the golden Californian didn't come up. My meadow sage didn't come up, so I've actually planted a couple of those direct into the garden where I just showed you those new little ones are coming up. So we'll see if that works. Sun gold tomato, oh my goodness, you get 5 seeds. I think I've planted 2 in here. Nothing. So that's not great. So I'm really hoping that I can get 1 to germinate out of the 5, because then I can at least save the seeds from one of the tomatoes, hopefully. But not great odds at this stage. So the other green tomato that I planted, nothing there. Kohlrabi, nothing. The teddy bear, sunflower, nothing. The butterhead, I thought I got a couple of these butterhead lettuces, but this one's now looking very sad from the heat, and that I think is actually just a piece of grass. Then these have just randomly come up, which I'm thinking from that little ball on the top there that that's a coriander. These kind of look like, I'm not sure, I thought they were basil, but they're not getting their true leaves coming looking like basil, so maybe, I don't know, I'm just trying to look and see what maybe they're the rockets, maybe they're extra rockets, or some mustard greens maybe. Have to monitor that and see what those 2 guys are, if they're the same or if they're totally different. And these 2 guys, one could be one thing and one could be a coriander. And then this is just a second acorn pumpkin, so the other one's in the garden that I need to plant in. This one was a bit confused, I don't know what happened to it. It's like its roots are in the wrong direction, so I put some dirt over the top to try and help it sort itself out. But yeah, I'm not sure whether that's going, oh gosh, don't touch it, Alicia, just leave it. So I'm going to have to plant some more butterhead lettuce for the 3rd time and see if I'm any successful. And I'm going to have to plant a couple more of these because I'm running out of time for tomatoes. And then I think I'm just going to go to the shops and buy some fennel and some tarragon, and hopefully there's an echinacea plant, and yeah, just call it a day as bomb fail, especially with these capsicums, because these guys have been on a heat mat with the heater light, and you know, it worked for all these things. Like, these things are all great, but yeah, just obviously a lot of failures as well. So some wins and some not so wins. Hello, Mr. B. That's a oregano flower that he's getting into, I think. Yeah, it is. I actually planted these so long ago that I don't know now what's oregano, what's a marjoram, and I also put in like a spicy oregano, but to be honest with you, they all taste the same to me. I'm not sure if I ever told you about this, the feverfew, that I put it in the other garden to attract bees to pollinate my peas. And that's my new bird bath. And bees don't like feverfew, so I had to take it out and put it in a pot. This is my curry plant. Look at this going. It's happy this year. It's not usually ever happy, but it's definitely happy this year. I love the smell of this. Oh my goodness, it's just, oh, it's delicious. It just makes me want to have a curry. And this is my bay tree, and I actually gave this guy a massive chop back a couple of days ago because it was just getting out of control. So we don't use bay very often at all. And yet we've got this huge shrub / tree of it. Okay, I'm desperate to not miss an opportunity, so I'm going to try. I've opened up those dead males, and I'm going to try and get some of this pollen that are on these dead ones. It's probably like not going to work, but I'll regret it if I don't try it, and see if I can pollinate this little girl while because I think she's closing up. So I think she's had her time, because they sort of come out early in the morning, and then by about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning, they are going to bed. So yeah, there's not a lot of pollen in here, unfortunately. Because I'm thinking I could open this guy up, but then if they're not mature enough, then I'm just wasting the flower potentially for, oh, something's, oh gosh, what's this sticking on? Oh, do you know what, I'm just going to leave it. But I've got this flower that's going to come up maybe tomorrow or the next day, so this guy might be ready for this one. So I'll just leave it at that for today, call it probably another dead one. I'd really like some spaghetti squash though, because they look so amazing. I've never actually had one before. But I'd really like to try one, so we'll try again tomorrow. Hopefully we get lucky with this girl and this boy. So it's the next day, and this little spaghetti squash did not flower today, and I don't think it's going to flower for a couple of days, because when I look at this male, I reckon he's going to go tomorrow, and then I reckon that one will probably go the next day, and I think that'll probably go the day after. So I think I'm going to be out of timing with that one, but we'll wait and see. There is my other little spaghetti squash, and that's going to obviously flower tomorrow. There is a couple of little buds there as well, so we'll just wait and see what happens. I do need to get this guy in here. That's my acorn squash. And this morning I cut a huge chunk off this olive tree, so I've cut all those sort of lower branches, which isn't doing anything now, but this morning it did actually let this corn have a lot more light. I've realized that next year I'm going to put my corn in here in this bed instead, and I'm going to hopefully do sweet corn and the popcorn. We'll see how the popcorn goes this year first. But I thought you couldn't plant two corns together, but you actually can. You just need to put them in at different times so that they're not pollinating at the same time. I've also become very impatient with waiting for these wild chard / silver beet flowers to dry up, so I've just decided to hang a little bit to see if I can get it to dry faster. And I've got some bay leaf too, because a lot of the recipes that I need for some pickling recipes have dried bay leaves, and instead of buying some, I thought I might as well just make my own by hanging them up. I'm just trying to catch the bees here. They are loving life on these. This broccoli / broccolini, still don't know what this plant is, but they're loving life on those flowers. And these cucumbers that I'm thinking of cutting to do a pickle, I wanted to do like a dilly pickle, but my dill got completely eaten by caterpillars. It's coming back now. I'm managing to revive it, but yeah, it's not, I don't think there's enough for, mind you, there's only a couple of cucumbers, so I'm only going to be doing such a small batch, so maybe it will actually be okay, but then there'll be nothing left of my dill plant either. Gosh, I love that smell. Makes me think of tzatziki. This is the one on the other side. Oh, ouch, they are prickly. So I need to harvest him, and there's another one there. I don't know if you can see that one. And then there's another one here. And I'm just wondering whether I just do a really simple little pickle, which is why I did the drying of the bay leaves. So I was going to end this video with cutting those pickling cucumbers. However, the recipe that I am thinking that I'm going to use is from this book here, and it's very windy, sorry, dill pickle spears, and I'm hoping it might turn out looking like that. But I need mustard seeds, which is the thing that really appeals to me in this recipe. So I'm not going to pick them until I've got the mustard seeds, and that will be maybe in my next video if this is a success. So wish me luck, and I'll see you next time. Bye.